Good morning, guys. I hope you say hey if this is working. Sometimes with YouTube, when I've scheduled the lives, it didn't seem to actually start working properly. I'm glad to have you here today. I'm feeling very inspired from last week relating to all the good things happening at Genius Garage. And of course, the Lykan build is coming up. We've got the shop all nicely arranged, equipment, spares, cars, everything organized beautifully. So that's really inspiring to me when you get an awesome new shop space that's ready to go. A whole lot of fun. I don't know about you guys. You guys feel better about cleaning up and getting your workspace there going for whatever builds you got coming up? So anyway, but no, really exciting to see you all. Also today, for some of you have asked, I have been able to engage the super chat function, which if you look down there in the chat area, the feed, you can click, it's a monetary sign. But if it gets too blown up or you specifically got questions that you'd like to talk about, you can purchase the ability to just shoot right through. So for these live feeds in the future, rather than just the normal videos, I think it's a good opportunity to connect. So if you guys have questions that you want to talk about, if we want to have a discussion, that's what I'd like this to become. So I'm testing it out on these weekends and trying to find times that I think will work for most people and go from there. But naturally, I read all the comments of the videos. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that inspires you, makes you think, maybe ticks you off, makes you happy. Whatever it is, I think that's good and it helps us all grow together. So I do read those and comment as best I can, but I wanted to do these live things so we have the opportunity to talk and make stuff happen. So let's try one here. Here's a Jacob Fuller. He says, hello, Casey. I'm 17 years old and love cars. I really enjoy working on my cars and would like to be a classic automotive appraiser. What are your thoughts? Well, no big deal, dude. Go for it. You just have to look at the market and look and think and read thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of ads. And you must know the difference between what does it actually sell for? Does that happen publicly? You know what I'm saying? Sales that happen behind closed doors, and realize that a lot of the advertisements you see out there are total BS. There's plenty of cars that have been advertised that have been on the market literally for years and will never sell. So we're in a funny time right now, but best thing I can tell you is just read and learn and get good at it and understand it. And if you do, then you'll potentially be a worthwhile automotive appraiser. My last note is, all these people that have advertisements are like, my vehicle appraised for $100,000. Yeah, right. Okay, you're never going to sell for more than 30 grand, buddy. There's a lot of appraisers that put way too high a value on things, kind of just for insurance and such. And then people think their cars are magically worth something, they'll sell for it when they don't have a snowball's chance. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind too. All right, guys, we got Michael Morrison in the house, our favorite boomer hero that's going to give away his 67 Cyclone to a young millennial he is choosing. Very cool. Hey, Mike. All right. This person writes, I like to talk about how racing will change now. Yes. Well, for Englishleys. Okay. I did a video, I believe, yesterday that came out on how the nature of the pandemic and everybody doing things for the betterment of public health and safety has changed racing forever as of now, because all the events are getting canceled around the world. Major economic hit, of course. But they have to find a way to save face and keep it going. So with an advent of awesome simulators and the connection to the internet, we can have these racers getting simulators quick, these professional drivers, and racing online. And then you look at the nature of how big everything can be online as opposed to putting butts in the seats at a racetrack. One, it's a lot cheaper. And two, you can get a lot more people. And if you didn't, please watch it. Also watch it all the way through. Because I can see in the comments real quick who didn't actually watch the whole video. Anyway, this person writes, what are your thoughts on the first generation gated Audi R8? Styling, performance, appeal, and collectability. Collectability right now, just take care of it. Collectability is stupid. That is a modern car. You can drive it every day. There's no reason to hoard it in a collection. That's just kind of silly. Just go drive it, okay? But the gated Audi R8, I think they are super fun to drive. I think it's very rewarding. As a note, yesterday I got to blast around in a McLaren MP412C, which is a very blisteringly fast twin-turbo V8 car with paddle shifting and cool butterfly doors. But here's the thing. The gated Audi R8 and all these gated supercars versus paddle shifting, the big difference is this, and I know I beat up on paddle shifting. Paddle shifting is great and makes it easy to go really, really fast. But the problem with paddle shifting on the street is it's boring. Because to actually drive the supercar or the sports car, whatever, fast enough to enjoy the paddle shifting, you're being super illegal, which doesn't work for long term or pretty much at all on the street. But with a gated manual or a manual supercar, you can still have fun and find some reward driving at legal speeds. So I like them a lot for driving. Styling of the Audi R8, it's fine. You know, it's nothing that makes me lose my mind, but it's very handsome. And hence, so for all those reasons, I think it's a great everyday supercar. Okay, this person writes, I'm just here because I love all cars and all the history, talent, and engineering that goes into them. Awesome. I'm glad that you're inspired to be here, sir. That's from Ismail Ali. This person, House Heaver. Hey, Casey. I'm wanting to go into race car engineering for car design and am looking into joining a university SAE team. Is there any better way to get a foot in the door for that kind of job? Yes. Formula SAE is a great thing that exists within the confines of academia. However, Formula SAE teams across the world are by no means created equal, and by no means will you necessarily find good mentorship or leadership at them. Look into that. Just because it's the only game in town, generally speaking, doesn't mean it's great. And there's great opportunities to have and not as great opportunities to have in Formula SAE, but it's a good opportunity. But here's the thing. You really want to get your foot in the door. You have got to do good co-ops, work on real cars, do things in the real world, which is all the reasons why I created Genius Garage. So if you can't do Genius Garage, look out. So I've got a great question here from Tanzeel Ansari. He writes, what do you think of Porsche Club members that snub their nose on those that modify modern Porsches, i.e. a 991.2, but hypocritically fanboy modified 964s? Well, man, I think you just wrote it. It's funny, the nature of car worlds and car communities, especially clubs. Clubs become their own world that kind of have their own values and rules and like social etiquettes and circles and hierarchies. And I'm not a club kind of guy. I'm not that. I like the real world, you know? And clubs can be fun to find camaraderie and all, but it's kind of old world. So in the Porsche community can get, in some ways, too caught up in themselves and their own world. I like Porsche, but that's sort of it. If you just got to ask yourself, if people highly dislike you modifying their car, well, one, are you doing a bad job? If you're modifying it badly, then, you know, maybe that's something. But if you're doing a good job and it's tasteful, then what's their problem? You know, seriously. You know, it's not like you're taking the Mona Lisa and like painting over it, you know, and putting emojis or something on it. You know, you're taking your Porsche and you're modifying it to your personal taste, and that's cool. So, you know, if those club members are getting all bad because you're modifying something that's not within the confines of their little world and their social etiquette and their rules, then you might just want to find yourself a new world. And if those people are watching me right now, then if your feathers are ruffled, I don't know what to tell you, man. All right. But yeah, Tanzeel Ansari, thanks very much. Good question, guys. All right. Let's see what else we got here. EJ writes, top of the morning, Casey Putsch from rainy Connecticut. We will continue to agree to disagree. A DCT, in my opinion, is just as engaging to a manual transmission, dual clutch transmission. No, because you can put it on automatic. You can't put a manual on automatic, dude. Just no. Like, a manual transmission is more engaging. It takes more from you. It takes more physical acumen. It takes more practice to get right. And because of that, you put in more and it gives you more back. Sorry, dude. There are some cars that perform so well that, yeah, DCT would be, you know, nice because you could screw up. But that's just it. I'm not into that. You know, some cars are valuable. But EJ, I'm happy to disagree with you, sir. And I'm glad that we can have this nice back and forth. All right. Ooh, Chapman 5578. He writes, hey, Casey, what are your thoughts on Gordon Murray T50? Is it going to shake up the industry in any way or a swan song for the manual transmission? NA engine rear-wheel drive car. Really loved the last video about having an old car. Well, Chapman, I really appreciate you writing, but I'm going to do something right now. I am going to quickly look up that car, the T50, to make sure I am thinking of the car you are, because I would exactly what I thought it is, the one with the fan. It sort of looks like the McLaren F1 in some ways. All right. Well, I think it's a super cool car. I'm glad Gordon Murray has done that. I wouldn't really call it a swan song. I would call it Gordon Murray being a rough and tumble, cool. I want to say, like bad A old dude and just making it happen. Here's the thing: the street. There's no rules. Well, I mean, there's a lot of rules like DOT and crap like that, but it doesn't have the purposefully obtuse, like wacky engineering circus that is Formula One or something. So why can't we be expressive and be crazy on the street? So the fact that Gordon Murray is building the active aerodynamic fan car for the street is super cool. The car looks to me to be lighter and simple in its sophistication. So I really like that. I think it's attractive in a sort of race engineering utility way without being over the top. So I think it's perfect in many ways. I think it's exciting what he's done. I'm glad that car exists. And it makes me kind of connect in a manner of speaking more to what I think Gordon Murray is doing. So I really like the car. Yeah, it was really fantastic. And beyond that, if I'm not mistaken, I think Gordon Murray may have entered as a racing driver in the HSR's Classic Daytona 24. And I thought that was super cool, too, because anybody racing some rough and tumble, big honking vintage race cars might get to go up there and, like a gentleman, dice it out in a sporting way with guys like that. So I really like the car. I hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for your question. All right, got another one here from Joseph Barker. He writes, "G'day, Casey. What's your thoughts on the Australian Turbo Barra?" Ooh, well, hold on. Again, I'm going to make sure I'm thinking of the right car, guys. The Turbo Barra. Yeah. Hope you'll forgive me. Some of these cool vehicles we don't see as much as we'd like to. Yes. Big, nasty. Yes. That's so crazy, you guys. Yeah. The Turbo Barra. Well, I tell you what, you guys down in Aussie land, I like your style. You guys are like, if the English it was okay with them to have like an express emotion and not be like charmingly befuddled, and you're just like, yeah, we're just gonna do it. It was kind of like some American style and flair. I don't know, maybe I'll start a war between the English and the Australians, but yeah, man, you guys have a style down in Australia. And the Turbo Bar you're speaking of, a giant turbo in my face. Nice. I mean, just, I don't know where to begin, man. Like you guys kind of like take an American attitude, but like mix it with sort of like a world vibe, but sort of we're on an island and we don't give a crap. We're going to do whatever we want. And I just sort of like that. It amuses me, and I think you guys make good cars that are just that are rough and cool and get the job done. So I dig it. I hope you like my opinion, but that's my thoughts right now. All right, got one here from William Ohlmeyer. He writes, "Hey Casey, I own a Lotus Esprit and it makes my life miserable, but I just can't bring myself to sell it. Do you think I need therapy?" Well, sir, you need to tell me what year Lotus Esprit you have, and I will be happy to answer that more. So, hey, William, write it right now, what year you've got, and I will tell you more, but let's see. Okay, so let's talk Lotus Esprit, guys. I owned one Lotus Esprit in my past. It was an S1. I was very happy to have it. I kind of sound silly, but I was inspired by a friend of mine who also is into Esprit S1s. I like how super lightweight they are. I think they look better than a Europa. And I love that it's got that, 4-cylinder longitudinal with the transaxle 5-speed. It's lightweight. It's a little delicate. So you got to kind of fly it, It's lithe and great. And of course, who doesn't think of, James Bond, was it The Spy Who Loved Me, from when he's blasting around Sardinia in a Lotus Esprit S1? Really cool, really inspirational. And then, of course, we go all the way down the line to the Lotus Esprit Twin Turbo V8, which I think is a great car. But do not ask me to change timing belts in that. I hate it. I hate changing timing belts in those things. So, no, I don't think you need therapy. Esprits. I'm not sure when I'll own one again, but I would like to. So, yeah, I think they're great. All right, guys, let's see what else we got here. I saw this guy write Thomas Johannesson. I thought it said Thomas Jefferson for a minute. Whoa, what is in my coffee? Okay, he writes, "Hey Casey, Ola from Texas. I just got laid off from my job at a quick lube shop. How do you think this economic downturn will affect the automotive world in the short term and the long term?" Well, it's rough, you guys. I think a lot of people are losing their jobs and really afraid about paying payments like rent, leases, mortgages, etc. I think it's a real downer, and we've got to stay positive and do the best we can. There's a young man close to Genius Garage that just got laid off from his job being a technician at a dealership, and I was kind of impressed with him. He needed a hand with his big toolbox, getting it out of his truck, moving in his little shop. He's working on some tuner cars. But what I was most impressed by this guy was his attitude. It was sort of like the can-do American spirit. It's like, yeah, I just got laid off, but I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to make something of it. And I'm like, all right, I admire that feistiness, guys. So short term, I think it's going to be rough, and we're going to have to bear down and come up with creative things. Long term, I think there's going to be some cultural shifts. And the cultural shifts, I think, are going to have to do with the value. I think a lot of people are going to see how much better life is in a way from being home, spending time with loved ones, getting to play with their kids. You know, I saw kids out running around like Mad Max on their dirt bikes the other day. Like it was the 80s. I wanted to join them. I thought that was awesome. And I know that's like not legal, but it's kind of like the good old days. So I feel like in a way, everybody being home and laid off and quarantined has sort of brought the good old days back of before the internet, whatever that means to you. And I hope those values people find more time for each other, and also maybe don't push themselves 110% all the time, and find more time for themselves in life and doing cool things and working with their hands. Okay, so we got a great question here from Tanzeel Ansari again. He writes, recommendation on the best pre-owned Ferrari to purchase that the average Joe could save up for in their lifetime, both price and servicing considered. Tanzeel, I got you, man. 360 Modena. Here's the thing. That's the car. It's still really fast. It's really great looking. The 360, when it moved and evolved from the 355, the 355 was still a steel welded tube frame that was fairly complex. When it went to the 360, it got much more modern, had welded aluminum bulkheads. Now that is a thing, because if you wreck a 360, it's a little harder to fix than a 355 in that way. But just don't wreck it, have good insurance, and forget about that. But the 360, if I'm not mistaken, I could be, I don't think I am, you can change the timing belts from the firewall into the passenger compartment without removing the entire engine and drivetrain. So that's really good. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be, but I don't think I am. I think it has hydraulic valves that you don't have to adjust like an old school Ferrari from 355 and earlier, which makes servicing lots better. Also, if you can find a gated manual, that's the way to go. Then you don't have to worry about the stupid flappy paddle gearbox. It's kind of failing and wearing out your clutch faster. So those cars, I've seen ones that are a little down on their luck that you can fix up reasonably for 45, but you might be able to find a good deal for 50 or 60. Enjoy it, love it, drive it like crazy. They kind of got the bugs worked out. And, you know, they inflated the prices of Ferrari 308s and 328s to beyond that. Why the heck would you buy a stupid old 308 or 328 for when you can buy a 360? It's a better car in every way for less money. So 360, buddy, I hope you get one. Okay. We've got another one here from Chatman5578. And he writes, hey, Casey, what are your thoughts on the... Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. That's the about the Gordon Murray one thing. Yeah. No, love that Gordon Murray design. I think Gordon Murray's a cool dude, and I love his work throughout history. I think in some ways he's not as big an icon as he should be, actually. Kind of reminds me of the likes of Jim Hall and such back in the day. All right, guys, got one here from Gavin Wykes. He writes, hey, Casey, I'm Gav from the UK, and it's great to see some positive attitude. All right. I'm following you on your Mark 1 MR2 build. Very interesting in the outcome of it. I hope you enjoy it. I really, the MR2 that I'm doing, you guys, is 1987. It has the 4AGE silver top motor in it with the 5-speed, but individual throttle bodies from the 90s, which is good. Nice motor, real strong. And the car was down on its luck. You can tell the paint was super oxidized, looked like crap. People weren't paying attention to it. The people who owned it before would stack tires on it. And it had some roto wheels that were kind of cheap that were poking out of the fenders and some rust. So bought it for a song, but it ran good. And what I found is just elbow grease and putting just effort into it. You know, I bought some inexpensive but pretty nice NRG red seats to put in it. I've got a different steering wheel. And the tires are good on the roto wheels. It's got nice springs. It seems to dampen well. And I came to find that it's got an adjustable new sway bar on the front. Hence why I think it's actually understeering like crazy. I want to put a different sway bar on the rear as well to balance it out. But the lesson of this is, guys, just with the elbow grease of polishing it out, that paint's pretty nice. It's pretty darn nice. It looks good. And the rust on it, just with Pour 15 and prepping it really well, I can stop the spread of that rust. And since it's a single stage black paint from the 80s, a universal black matches pretty darn good. So I've been able to fix up that car really just with elbow grease and minimal cost of anything. Just cleaning up, making it smart. And I bought Wood Sport fiberglass fender flares from England, putting those on, going to paint them. It looks amazing. So guys, for less than $3,500, I'm going to have one heck of a cool little car. It kind of reminds me of Lancia Rally Stratos. How do you beat that? So I hope you guys are enjoying the MR2 build. Well, in this moment, before I get any other big questions coming in the super chat, really just trying that out. Hope you guys enjoy it. But I thought I'd give you some announcements with Genius Garage and my own channel coming up. Excuse me. One, you guys are kind of getting the behind the scenes thing, but I have done a collaborative partnership with ClassicCars.com. I'll actually be a personality in their journal and be talking about that a lot, sharing videos, sharing that, doing some stuff with them. I am very excited because I know the leadership there at ClassicCars.com. I know that they hardcore care about the future for the right reasons. Can you guys the down low? A young man, very nice. I'm hiding somebody. Hey, be nice, Vibin. Hey, you there? I see you. Anyway, a very nice young man has donated a Mark I MR2 here to me and Gina's garage with this. So we're going to find out what's coming. Is it going to be a build? Might we give it away with somebody? Whatever it is, I want that car that young man named Cameron actually donated to really help the car culture for the future. Also, Mike, the very nice baby boomer in Canada, who is donating his 1967 Mercury Cyclone to a millennial somewhere out there in North America of his choosing. Just want a nice shout out to him for that ongoing saga. On another note, Genius Garage did sell their Greenwood Corvette project to an awesome young man named Sam Avery, spelled Avery, pronounced Avery. And you can follow him at Wild Strawberry Garage on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Sam, gosh, he got this car like a week ago. He's already got the frame stripped down and primed. He's hardcore kicking butt and restoring this old Corvette. So big shout out to Sam. Really awesome. And then lastly, there's a very nice baby boomer out there, retired Air Force, who had his fun in a BMW 2002 that I believe is donating that to Genius Garage. So really exciting to see the movement that's happening. All of you guys out there who believe in Genius Garage and where we're going. And I'm just really honored you guys are watching and being part of this. I hope my channel's bringing a positive car culture out there. So you guys hit me. What awesome car life questions, whatever it is, maybe the shape of the world right now and how things are changing. Hit me with your questions. And again, I hope you're enjoying this opportunity with the super chat and the nature to kind of have front row seats to doing this live stream. I hope you all enjoy this live stream as sort of a real world way to connect, and we all have a great discussion. So got some stuff coming in here. Oh, BMW, woo, people are excited. Mike Honcho, the Ducati, yeah, right there. The build, I kind of halted on that, but it's going to take it to the shop soon. I've got to rebuild the carbs and finish the wiring, and fingers crossed, as long as something hellacious didn't happen to the inside of the motor when it was laid down back when. Going to have a really cool, loud, obnoxious Ducati to ride. So looking forward to that. But frankly, wasn't quite as motivated this winter to finish it because we can't ride it in the winter. But it's coming up soon. All right. So Mantis Dude, he writes, hi, I'm sure you've already answered this in your video, but what inspired you to work on cars and teach people? Twofold. One, work on cars. Just a mechanically inclined young person, loves screwdrivers and learning and working on things from my grandfather as an optometrist, which is optical engineering and doing stuff. And of course, my dad, who was a big car guy and had some little British cars when I was a kid, a Mini, a Triumph Stag, a Morgan, and even a Model A. And it would take me to the vintage races at Mid-Ohio when I was a kid. So naturally, you kind of dream of things to come, motorcycles, racing, and building. And just hanging out in the garage when he was working on stuff. And also slot cars, guys, slot cars, old school slot cars. It's a great way to learn things and build. Yeah, my bench here is all messy. There's a bunch of slot cars left over from this winter when I was doing things with kids. So those are the things that inspired me. In terms of what inspired me to teach, you know, I just grew up in a family that cared about others. You know, my dad was a golf instructor type person, and he would do junior golf programs and teach. So I would see that, and that was a part of it. Also, there was things called expanding horizons when I was a kid, where you get out of school and go out with things that were taught and mentored by the community. It could be anything from nature and the environment to cars, whatever, just fun classes. And I was part of that. So that kind of stuck with me. And then what really inspired me to bear down with Genius Garage and fight that fight against the old crony car world that lies and says, what do we do to get young people to care? When they're really just saying that so they don't look bad because they don't give a crap and it's just their wealthy person's club. It's true. It's true. Call me out on it. I got examples for days. That inspired me because I realized how much I love the entirety of car history and design and engineering and building and racing and historic cars. And I looked around, I saw the environment. I'm like, wow, all these cars from history have incredible lessons to teach with, but nobody's doing anything with it. And there's so many great people out there that could mentor. So the Genius Garage formula was born. And I just wanted the things that, one, I cared about, but I saw as value to the world in the future to matter. And I wanted to see young people have the chances that I never had, because my college experience just was very unfulfilling and not very good for helping young people achieve goals. And, I had to fight out there to make a way, learn and build, and when you have to do that, you learn how things work. You learn where the pitfalls are, and you learn where the dragons lurk out there in the woods. So it's the opportunity to help young people know that and help guide them so they can get right on track and kickstart their careers. Whoa, 303 Street Machines got a good question here. He writes, what kind of car, truck, bike, etc. do you need donated for Genius Garage? Just curious. Well, man, I appreciate you asking that regarding donating to Genius Garage. It's twofold. Here, first, before I get into Genius Garage, I want to talk about places that get cars and boats and planes or whatever donated. Most of those places out there that exist will just take the vehicle and sell it because they want the money and liquidate it. Okay, a lot of places do that. I think that's really sad. I like to connect Genius Garage in a much bigger, better way because obviously somebody cared about those vehicles. So I like them to carry on forward. I've also seen when people donate cars or old cars to shop class or trade schools, et cetera, there's a problem with that the people donating it don't realize. The vintage vehicles are too old. The people with these type shop class and trade schools mostly want newer cars because they're teaching their young people the current industry and building. So oftentimes those cars will just get looked at, futzed around with, never do anything, or just sold. So if it's a collector out there that cares about something, then Genius Garage really is the best place that their vintage vehicle likely could carry forth a standard and see value with young people getting out of that. So, but what would I truly need donated that would be super helpful? Racing vehicles, racing cars that we can do that with our curriculum are very good in any shape. There's obviously the kind of dream. I really like Genius Garage to be the highest end program of its type in the world, the dream shot. So some higher end machine, an Indy car, an older F1 car, that would be really helpful. A NASCAR of some sort, that would be really good for that part of the curriculum we don't have. And a production-based car that we can kind of teach engineering with or test in a controlled environment. Maybe it's a Corvette, a Viper, something like that. That could be really good. For the curriculum and mainstay, but like the BMW 2002, the guy donates, really great teaching there. And actually there's value to having with Genius Garage, even a big pre-war car to see old engineering craftsmanship like that throughout. So, vehicles that help me teach with the curriculum at Genius Garage, kind of first and foremost, vehicles that help forward the car culture that really do show that young people care about vintage cars and working on them and driving them, being part of vintage racing, the Concours world that they can get hands-on engaged with. That's fantastic because it carries forth a bigger meaning. But beyond that, anything really, man. There's always a way to find those cars fulfill their biggest value need, whether that's directly teaching in the program and the curriculum. Fantastic. Whether that's a vehicle kind of being donated like Mike Morrison with his 67 Cyclone, where a young person can get that and carry the car culture future forward. So those cars don't just get hoarded by previous generations and then forgotten with because then no young people will care. Then that's great too. So any cool car, man, or truck, vehicle, race car, we can definitely find a way to make them matter. So thank you for asking. I hope that answers it. All right, guys, this is kind of fun. Family Fun writes, working on cars has been the bond between my teenage son and myself. It has given him some direction for life. He is now looking to become an engineer. Awesome. And what an appropriate name, Family Fun here. Yeah, definitely. Working on cars is a great bond. And, video games and simulators are lots of fun, but you're not going to get the same bond. Okay. You can get a bond, but when you work on something hands-on, tangible, you can feel it, smell it. And then when you're done, you have something to show for yourself tangibly that you can enjoy together. That is the human spirit right there. So I appreciate you writing that. I think it's great. And I love having that kind of positive attitude here on my channel, guys. All right. Gun stuck on shoe. Gun stuck on shoe, not gum. Ooh, playing words. Hey, Casey, I've been trying to buy a Mark 1 MR2 for about 1.5 years now, but any that I find are trashed or way overpriced. How did you find yours? Facebook Marketplace is the place, man. But I can tell you it was hard for me to find a Toyota MR2. A lot of them are trashed. A lot of them are rusted to the ground. And most of them have zillions of miles. That's the trouble. And the people who have them and are selling them oftentimes are not as practiced at selling things or communicating. So I found difficulties in connecting with MR2 people to find one to buy. But Facebook Marketplace is going to be the spot. You just got to stick with it and be ready to pounce when you finally get the opportunity to find a car that works for you. All right, guys, what else do we have? This is interesting. Dave from Colorado writes, I'm disabled, but I have a dream of a jet turbine shaft burnout car like your Batmobile. For something like Cletus and Cars, what would be a good engine idea? What are your thoughts? Well, Dave, it depends on how silly you want to get. There's a number of turbo shaft engines out there that make in the area of 300 to 500 shaft horsepower. That's the most reasonable engine to get for a ground vehicle, because we're talking noise, hot gases that you got to vent somewhere, so they're not a liability. You guys may have seen the video where I roasted marshmallows on the Batmobile's exhaust last Halloween for fun with a sword. So that gives you an idea. And they spool up and slow down. So if you want to make a burnout machine, that's cool. You don't necessarily need tons of horsepower to do that. So the engines would be like the Boeing T-50 variants. They're going to harder find and more expensive. And then the Rolls-Royce and Allison variants, which I think are 250s. In another helicopter, they're kind of pricier now. Like I'm thinking like 20 grand if you can find one. So that's a little tough. There's some bigger nasty engines like a T-56, I believe. But those doggone things are making like 1,500 horsepower and they're big. So you can burn a lot of fuel, make a lot of noise and a lot of gas. And you can sure do burnouts, but it's big and doesn't really fit in much. So probably your best bets are going to be those Boeing T-50 variants if you can find it, or the Rolls-Royce Allison variants that are like the 250s, but they're kind of expensive. So that's what I would say, sir. All right, guys. Well, let's see. Beyond that, Genius Garage is going to start the Lykan build next week. Of course, we've got the nature of all the quarantine and pandemic type stuff, so that makes it tougher. Genius Garage, of course, is a charity and a nonprofit, so I can go down there and keep things organized and ready for these young people. But obviously, we got to be mindful of all that nature and giving consideration to the world time we have right now. So that could slow us down. Worst comes to worst, I may start tearing down the Boxer by myself, because that's kind of the grunt work and the non-intelligent work of the build, and readying the car for when students are able to start on it. So we're going to keep that going, and I'm going to be determined to make sure we can keep moving. So I hope you guys are excited about it, because the Lykan build truly is going to be the build of the year. Obviously, we got a nice collaboration going between VinWiki and my own channel, Casey Putsch, naturally. In fact, just recorded a VinWiki update on that. So I hope you guys are excited. And of course, our goal is going to SEMA. And my personal goal is to have the Lykan, no joke, not finished, but testing under its own powered safely and at speed at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in June. Yes, it will happen. Well, it might not, but I'm going to make it happen. All right. Okay. Hey, man. Everybody, be easy there, guys. Ethan Smith, I know you want some attention. I'll give you some attention. Hello, sir. I appreciate you being here, but don't do it that way. Let's be positive, okay? I'm glad your question got held for review. But guys, that's kind of that. So let's talk about it. On Monday, I'm putting a very silly video out at 10 o'clock. I noticed you guys saw I put a bunch of videos out at 5 o'clock this week. Honestly, that works better for me. I'm sorry for the guys that like seeing it first thing in the morning, but keep in mind, I have to record these videos, then edit them, then get them out, then tag it. It's a lot of time and a process that I have to balance between a home life and being at the shop and Genius Garage and doing all that and real work and the real world. So it's tough. And me being able to put them out at 5 o'clock works a lot better for my home life and balancing it with my nice wife and keeping my sanity. So I think I'm probably going to start putting them out at 5. But anyway, the video for Monday, a very nice gentleman. Oh, and this is another exciting thing. Came by, and have you guys ever seen like the virtual tours of places? Like you can virtual tour a museum or, okay, so apparently Tom Hanks just died. What are you talking about? Okay, well, let's check this out. Did Tom Hanks just pass away? Anyway, so virtual tours, like of a museum or whatever, you can like walk in and then turn and move, and it's like you're there. You see the whole space, and it's really cool. Well, a gentleman came by and did that for Gina's Garage because he really likes it and believes in it. We put a bunch of stuff in it. Sadly, the Batmobile and the yellow Corvette aren't in them, but you guys next week will be able to take a virtual tour of Gina's Garage and click on items and then watch the video relating to them. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. But that very nice gentleman drove by in his McLaren MP412C, and he threw me the keys, and he let me be silly, full silly on it. So silly, YouTube will probably hate my guts. No, it'll be fine. But on Monday, there's going to be a very fun, very silly video of me blasting around in a McLaren, and I hope you guys enjoy that. Wait, what the heck? What do you think about a group? Okay, I got who? What? All right, hold on. We got to look this up. Is Tom Hanks? Did he die? Tom Hanks. I'm going to find this out. News. Tom Hanks and wife Rita Wilson are back in LA after coronavirus. What? Tom Hanks? I don't believe it. No. What are you doing there, dude? Okay, so, all right. Okay. Anyway, well, Jerry, welcome. You got us all to look at you saying Tom Hanks is dead. He's not. He's back after coronavirus quarantine. He's fine. Okay, ride that Ducati. I will, man. It's Ohio. The weather sucks. It's coming up. Yeah, foam test. I appreciate you saying that. You silly trolls making me look at that. Anyway, the McLaren's super fun, you guys. And where's my phone? I will give you a teaser for the intro. Thank you for being here. All right. Oh, somebody's texting me. They're like, Casey, you're ruining your career on live internet. Actually, they really liked my last video, so that is cool. Okay. And you'll probably be able to hear it through the mic, so that's cool. All right, here it comes, you guys. Here's the ridiculous preview. I think you can see it. Oh, play you. Hold on. I'm sorry. Work the technology, Casey. I am not good at things.
In today's episode, you watch Casey and a McLaren do vaguely inappropriate things in public. Look at that. You just finger the car a little, and if you hit the right spot, it locks. Boom!
True.
It has a mighty aerodynamic erection of speed and glory.
Yes. Now, I would like to point out that I use all of those words correctly for the definition of it. And if anybody is offended by that opening, please get a sense of humor. It's all called life. We're all in it together. And eventually we're all going to die. So relax and let's have some fun with the supercar. Yes. What did you guys think of that opening? All right. Somebody here, Dave from Colorado, writes, I found her channel a long time ago because of a spelling error. My last name is Pitch. Your last name is Putsch. Oh, okay. Your, not her. Okay. Well, very good. I'm glad you found it, sir. Although I've been kind of worried lately because of the definition of my last name in the dictionary, and naturally because of the definition and its association through the last few hundred years of life. YouTube, that's my last name. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. So please don't freak out about my last name, YouTube. Please be nice. I'm just a guy that likes cars, okay? Okay, this guy's looking forward to the McLaren video. Foam test liked the video. You guys like the opening. Yes, I am having too much fun. Texas. Well, not too much. I have fun occasionally. And I act ridiculous to cut the stress because it's really fun. Okay. Oh, Robbie writes, hi, Casey. You get one of every Lamborghini ever built, but you never get to see your girl's butt again. What you gonna do? So you left it open. I'm like a genie, right? Like I'm gonna find the way around that. I'd be like, okay, honey, well, you're still here and everything's cool. I won't look at your bottom, but we get every Lamborghini and we'll be much better. So I will just look at other attributes and we will have a nice life together. Sorry, but you weren't specific enough, Robbie Holtz. I just got all of the Lamborghinis and everything's fine. And you only talked about one sense, sight. I have a few other senses as well. Okay. Oh, good Lord. Oh, man. YouTube's a funny place. Okay. Uh-oh. EJ just looked up the meaning of Putsch. LOL. Well, sir. Anyway, guys, I hope you're liking this live feed and live chat, just hanging out here together in the nature of the super chat and the stickers and stuff. I do see some of you have taken advantage of that, and I hope you found it valuable. And also, genuinely, I hope you being part of this and kind of front row seats to the live aspect of this show and supporting the channel. So 303 Street Machines, definitely appreciate you there. Let's go through here. we got William Ohlmeyer. Very much appreciated, sir. I appreciate you getting these so-called front row seats and asking a question. Joseph Barker, big thanks to you, sir. Chatman5578, great question. Love that Gordon Murray design. Tanzeel Ansari, really appreciate you getting in there with your questions. I hope you enjoyed that and that you guys are going to want to come back. It makes it more fun. And frankly, it makes it more fun for me that you guys invest in doing that and making this serious. I've been enjoying doing this channel. Obviously, Genius Garage is a big deal. I love the collaboration with Edit Bin Wiki. Chat a little bit with Tavarish, kind of talked about maybe doing something this summer. That could be fun. Also, rumor on the street, Shmee150 might just pop by Genius Garage this year. So I think we could have some fun. I think it's just going to be an amazing year. And of course, got the big collaboration with ClassicCars.com coming up. So I can tell you guys, there's some spectacular doors. I think that's going to open for them and us all together. And I hope you guys are enjoying that as well. Oh, here's a fun one. Peter McDonald. He writes thoughts on a TR6. I assumedly you're talking about the car. So I'm just going to go and say you have the car. Triumph back in the day in the TR6, I like because it's a little tough. Yeah, it's a little more masculine, of a little British sports car. And they're reasonably affordable. If you put a nice exhaust on them, they've got a charming exhaust note. Dare I say, can almost kind of sound like an Aston Martin from the time period. So I think it's every good thing about old British cars. I really, really like TR6s. I hope you guys have fun with them too out there. Or if you haven't thought about them, maybe check them out, young people. Triumph TR6. All right, Dave from Colorado again. He goes, I went to school for my associate's degree as an automotive technician in 2001. I developed MS. I can't do crap now. I dream and dream and dream of it's good to see the next generation carrying the torch, building fun cars and doing fun things. Jet Turbine is a burnout car, would be noisy, hot, and lots of silly fun. I agree, Dave. And I appreciate you being part of this community here. And I'm glad you're here. And I hope this makes things more fun. And you are inspired by what we're doing together to help young people with engineering and start their careers with Genius Garage. I hope you're inspired by Mike Morrison and giving away that 67 Cyclone as a build for young people. We're going to follow that here. So thanks for being here, guys. Thank you for being part of this culture. And I'm glad we can have a positive, real world and honest place. So awesome, Dave. Thank you. Okay, Patrick Burke, what's up, man? He writes, in a way, you are attempting to overthrow motorsport rich boys. Boys spelled boys. I think that's how you pronounce it. Did I pronounce that correct, Patrick? Yeah, I am. You're smart, of course, because they need to be. They're destroying car culture of the past. It's pathetic. So what would we rather do? Wait for all the old cronies to die off and nobody care about the cars? We have to build them and rebuild the entire culture? That's stupid. Or we can just tell it like it is and do something about it. Because the reason the old motorsports and vintage car community, rich boys, ruin things is because they used to have the voice, but they don't anymore. Media has changed. The world has changed. And now all of us can come together in an awesome community here and other places around the internet and do amazing things for the future. So here's the thing, guys. If vintage cars didn't exist tomorrow, I would still build cool stuff. We would still do things for the future. And I would still teach and mentor and help young people for industry in the world. Life and intelligence and desire and inspiration and art and engineering always finds a way for the future. But the truth is, I do care about our history, our automotive history, engineering from the past. It's something I care about and I like. And I want that to matter to young people. So if I got to make some old rich boys mad that ruin the past, I don't care. I'm going to do it. And we're all going to make something better together. So, yeah, man, here we come. It's the future. All right. And Doyce, he writes, your boys is on point. All right. This guy writes, I need a vintage Ducati in my office. Well, you two, sir, just have to have a project you did and then a boring winter and your project needs to be finished. And then you can have your Ducati in your office. Then you got to finish it and get it out and on the road to have fun. Robbie Holtz writes, no, thank you, Casey. Have you received any photos of the Top Gun bike on display in our new home? Actually, not yet. Actually, thank you for asking, Robbie. It's a great question. The replica of the Top Gun Maverick Kawasaki GPZ Ninja I built, the black and red one, went to the charity Folds of Honor. That's a very big and very inspirational military-based charity that gives scholarships to the young people of families of fallen servicemen and women. And guy that leads it is a cool aggressor pilot. His best job in the world. A jack with young fighter pilots in the air. Yes. No pictures yet, but I have seen he's been super busy, been on the news, like Fox News and stuff, as a talking head relating to stuff going on, military charities, etc., and a lot going on. So I haven't seen that, but I'll have to ask it. But I'm sure he's busy, just like I'm busy building Genius Garage. But looking forward to that. Shaun, what is up? Can I call you Shaun the Sheep? Wait a minute. Hold on. I got to see your question. Your question's not propagating. Propagate Shaun's question. It just says Shaun. Well, what's up, man? I like your hat. If you got a question, hit me up. Or you want to say something. All right. Ethan Smith, I see you there again, trying to get attention. Ethan, I appreciate you being here, but come on, man. Grow up. Don't make me block you. Let's talk about cars, all right? Let's be positive, okay? Scott Crunk, 88 944 Turbo or 96 C4 base model Corvette for a fun car. Ooh. Okay. I have had a C4 from that time period, the later ones, with a better engine. Now, I'm going to tell you, you got to get manual of either. So we're just going to compare apples to apples in a way and go manual. So a late C4 or an 84 Turbo 944. I'm going to be honest, dude. I had a bunch of 944s, and then I upgraded to a C6 late Corvette. It was faster. I could power slide. It was rough and tumble. Yeah, it was plasticky and kind of in that way. But I sort of had more fun driving around as a hooligan. But a 944 is a little more sophisticated, a little better built, of course. And a 944 Turbo actually makes some power. So it's a tough one, man. It kind of depends on what you want to do. You want to pop the clutch and power slide and rip around and do donuts like a hooligan and be old school, and you want a V8 that makes some noise, and you need the Corvette. If you're still super into road racing, you want a sophisticated car that you dress well in your chinos and driving Lotus and your very nice Egyptian cotton shirt on a sunny summer afternoon in pink with it unbuttoned to here. Well, then you need the Porsche 944 Turbo. They're both nice cars. It's just up to you, man. But they're both great fun. I do like the targa roofs on the C4 Corvettes. I'm not in the 944 convertibles. But the top comes off on the 944, but the targa roof on a C4 Corvette's kind of cooler. That's what I would say. All right, guys. So we got about 12 minutes here. So if any of you have some big questions you want to get onto the super chat, now is your time. We can really go over that. But let's keep it rolling. Ooh, somebody writes 90 ZRN Corvette or a 355 Ferrari. Dude, a 355 Ferrari, the maintenance on them is stupid. It really is. I've seen way too many of those need way too big engine rebuilds. They're kind of delicate. Like, they'll melt exhaust manifolds. Doing the major service on them sucks. I've done it. I just hate it. Like, I know you guys are like, it's a really cool car. It's great, great, great. I'm like, okay, yeah, but have you done a major service on one? They suck to work on. They're pretty. They sound beautiful. So I guess I would say, do you have to work it on, or can you pay somebody else to do it? If you could pay somebody else to do it and you don't really care about money, the 355 Ferrari sounds bitchin'. But if you work on your cars yourself, get the 90s DR1 Corvette, because just no way with the 355. That's what I'm saying. Okay. All right. This guy writes 996, 911 manual or manual C6 Corvette. Manual C6 Corvette. I had one. I like it. You know, the 911s, they're cool, but the just shifters feel crappy. And it just doesn't feel as tough. I like cars that I can blow the tires off and power slide and kind of pop the clutch to some extent if I need and feel like I'm not going to destroy it. And I never feel like I always feel like I'm going to destroy a Porsche if I start popping the clutch and power sliding and doing stuff like that. I like torque. I like power sliding. Well, I like the engine in the front where God and Henry Ford intended it. Well, I like them kind of all over the place, but I just like to say that. Okay, guys. This guy writes, Wraith is one of the coolest car movies. No, it is not. But it is a cool movie for people that are into it from that time period. It's very kitschy. It's very cult classic. I'm with you, man. But have you watched that with modern eyes looking back at the 80s? It was like everything that was both good and horrific about the 80s. But the Wraith, yeah, 303 was Street Machines. So, yeah, I get it, man. It's great nostalgia for sure. Yep. All right. Is VW Scirocco just a rebadged Audi S2? It is not. No way. The Scirocco is unto itself a cool Volkswagen. Even the second gen Scirocco is based on the A2 platform, which I think is similar to the Rabbit. But the Scirocco, I think, is the coolest of modern Volkswagens because it's pointy, it's light, and it's simple. Yes, and it's everything cool about the 80s. The Corrado's cool too, but it still looks cool, but it started to get fatter and more luxurious like the 90s. And it's nice, but the Scirocco, man, Scirocco, that's where it's at. What? We rate vets or no walk in the park to do maintenance on either. Have you noticed the whole hood opens up? Like, yeah, okay, so that engine is hard to get to the what do you call it? The goofy ignition thing. But come on, man, like it's a vet. Dude, vets or no walk in the park either to do maintenance on. Have you ever done a 355 Ferrari? God. Truly. I mean, it's like, hey, Casey, what would you like to do today? Do the major service on a 355 Ferrari? Or like walk naked through a briar patch while the public takes your picture and posts it on the internet and destroys your career? It's both equally terrible. I don't know what to tell you. It just is. Like, you go be a Ferrari mechanic, okay? And work on 70s, 80s, and 90s Ferraris, and don't come back salty thinking Ferrari makes the stupidest engineering decisions ever. And they're basically just overly luxurious, overly heavy race cars for the street. And when I say race cars, I mean, yeah, kind of the cool parts of racing, but all the stupid bad parts of racing too. Like, just what you should not have to split a car in half to change timing belts and adjust the valves. Stupid. Not relating to the 355, I'm relating to the earlier Testarossas. Yeah. Oh, God. And if you guys think the Miuras, Lamborghini Miuras, and Ferrari 355s are super cool and you super want one, well, you super better be able to afford to have somebody skilled work on it for you because they super suck to do an engine out on. Lamborghini Miura, when you take the engine and transaxle out, it clears the intake stacks and stuff, clear the rear glass on the car by 1/4 of an inch. You got massive weight hanging there, clearing all that pretty breakable stuff by 1/4 of an inch. It's stupid. Stupid. Okay, beautiful stupidity, but stupid. Okay. Ooh, Casey, rant time. Yes. Oh, okay. Relax, Casey, relax. EJ, he writes, have you thought about incorporating e-learning into Genius Garage? I do a lot of e-learning software at my day job, and I can help you if you're interested. Yes, learning through the internet, I think, is a fantastic thing, and the ability to reach more people everywhere. That being said, I am only one guy, and Genius Garage is a 501c3, which means every wealth manager and PE jackwagon out there doesn't want to help because they're just interested in making money. At 501c3, you can't do that. So I've got to find a way to get people invested in this that really can get the job done, or we can make this work that people will actually want to invest in doing that. But I think e-learning is fantastic, and I think it's a great way to reach lots more people and inspire them and teach them with Genius Garage. And it's something that I'm starting to do and trying to do, hopefully, with my own channel a little bit. So I appreciate you writing that. And you can send me an email. It may take me a little while to get back, but I'd love to connect with you. So thank you. Okay. I'm going to mispronounce my friend from the Netherlands here, but Dan van Lunen writes, have you owned any inline 5 engines? I have not. My parents had a couple of Volvos from like the late 90s, early 2000s that were turbo. They were inline 5, but I have not. But they're kind of neat. It's an odd number, so that's sort of cool. I mean, you know, an odd number of cylinders. All right. Let's see. What else we got here? The Wraith was a concept pace car for NASCAR made by Dodge. Yeah, I think I knew that. That's kind of fun. Except in the movie, it was like too high. The way it was sitting, but it was a fun movie. It would have been really fun for if you were a punk teenager in the 80s, right? Were you a punk teenager in the 80s watching The Wraith? I think you might have been. All right. What else do we got here, guys? Let's see. I'll ask you a question. Guys, give me your top 3 in order favorite car movies right now. And don't worry, I am all about kitschy, ridiculous things that nobody else likes. So hit me. I want to hear your top 3. Let's see. What would mine be? I mean, Le Mans is an absolute, it's an art film. It's not a normal movie, okay? Steve McQueen did an early 70s art film. In the early 70s, people are into like long things without talking and beautiful cinematic things and music and building a mood over time. And I got to give the guy props for fighting for Le Mans. And even though it wasn't like a major mainstream hit, it's beautiful and it's interesting to watch. And it allows you to go on a journey of emotion, frankly. And I love the intro to that because you really feel that you're there in France with the opening and feeling the people. And I love the art and the cinematic nature of it. And I just love the simplicity at the end, his the bow fingers thing, which is probably obscene in England. So sorry, I wasn't trying to be obscene. I was just talking about Steve McQueen. Just the nature of the communication that is completely lost in American culture. Of course, Grand Prix, fantastic movie. It's an epic of the car movies. I love the character development. I love the subtle things, the subtle humor. Nino. I think the Englishman that had the wreck and his wife, or estranged, was walking through the hotel, and Nino has the two Japanese women from the Yoshimura team with him. And he goes, "My goodness, Nino, two of them?" And he goes, "They are very small. I see you later, maybe." I thought it was hilarious. Because he just didn't care. I just like the time period of that. And there were so many different personalities in racing that again, Grand Prix was a journey of emotion, of time. It was almost like the Lawrence of Arabia of driving movies. And then beyond that, I really liked Rush. For a modern movie, Ron Howard did a spectacular job of making it be that. So I think it blends everything you want of the older movies and cinema and movie making with modern expectations. So fantastic. Those are the top three off my head. Okay, guys, we got some good ones here. Yes. Bullet. Okay. Gone in 60 Seconds. Ford versus Ferrari. You may mean the old Gone in 60 Seconds or the new one. I actually like the new one better than the old one. The old one I just never connected with. Okay. But Bullet, cool movie. Yeah, Steve McQueen, man. Smokey and the Bandit, not a racing movie, but yes! The Frog. Oh, some good lines there. And if you guys remember my old intro, before I got the new one this year, me and that 57 Corvette down in Texas with the cowboy hat, I was doing that breaking the fourth wall exact thing like Burt Reynolds and Smokey. You guys probably remember that. This person writes, Cars 2, Fast 5, and Ford versus Ferrari. Well, Ty, I like your crazy smattering. That's great. This person writes, Gone in 60 Seconds, American Graffiti, and Initial D. Whoa! Crazy mix-up, dude, but I like it. Also, a new Gone in 60 Seconds. I had the same MV Agusta that Angelina Jolie wrote it. That was kind of fun. I kind of missed that bike. I'd love to get it again. American Graffiti. Yeah, old school. I mean, gosh, the stars before they were stars. Super cool. Initial D. Talking the TV show or is there a movie? I'll have to look into that. Christine. All right, what do we got here? Couple Rush, got a Grand Prix. Christopher Monday. Okay, let's ask you, Christopher. You wrote Ford versus Ferrari, Rush, and Grand Prix. Truth be told, I hated Ford versus Ferrari. I thought it was kitschy and overdone for modern movies, and it really lost what it should be, and it was just lots of money spent at it, and I think in the future we're going to like this. Not as much substance as there needed to be. That's my opinion. Maybe I was in a bad mood, so don't hate me, but I'd love to hear what you guys tell me why right now you really love Ford versus Ferrari. And let's go deep, because I want to like it like you guys and not just be the jerk curmudgeon like I was when I saw it. Tell me why. I'd love to hear your take on it. Okay, Ronin. I haven't seen that yet, man. I got to watch that. Drive and Gone in 60 Seconds. The old version. Thank you for clarifying. Awesome. Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Ooh. Cars and Need for Speed. Wait, there was a Need for Speed movie? I don't remember that. There's a Porsche. Did you guys ever see, like, I'm thinking the 90s, Steve Guttenberg? I'm thinking did what it was probably a terrible car movie. It was like something had Porsches in it. I don't know. I just think that was funny. I remember seeing that when my buddy and Chad and I would go to the video store to rent movies. I'm kidding. Yeah, like back in the day. Okay. Movies. Hold on. Oh, the wife is talking. It's 11 o'clock. Yes. Cannonball Run. The first one. Yes. My wife. Hey, come here and tell them your favorite car movies. Oh, cameo from the wife, you guys. Yes, you can talk on this microphone. Oh, there she is. Yes. Come down here. What is the lady's opinion on car movies and car shows? What do you got?
So Cannonball Run.
Why do you like Cannonball Run? Cannonball Run 1, right?
Yeah, the first one, because it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so hilarious. What's your favorite parts?
All of them.
I
love when they get pulled over in the Ferrari by the cop.
Oh, wait.
The pastor.
When Burt Reynolds sets them up because he says they're child molesters and they're armed.
Yeah.
Wait,
that's probably one of my favorite parts.
You know, Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. were drunk the whole time.
They had to be.
It was awesome. They did not care. No, Sammy Davis Jr. Oh, remember when they were at the betting place and he's got the star David like this, and he was betting on me. God is our co-pilot, and Dean Martin's like, hey, where are we gonna ride? Where's he gonna ride?
Okay, what do you guys say? All right. This person writes, I personally love Ford versus Ferrari. Could be because I was obsessed with the story right. The movie was announced. The perfect size for me. Okay, guys, let's talk about. I'm going on a little further. The wife is here. It's like the what do you call it? When people come back for like a last performance after theater. Not Bravo.
Standing ovation?
No, it's when people stand up. It's like a second act. It's a what's the word? Is it a French word? I can't talk. I'm stupid, you guys. When they come back. No, it's encore.
Oh.
You're like the encore of this video. So Cannonball Run. Also, you guys, have you ever done this? YouTube, open up the original Cannonball Run intro with that beautiful V12 Countach they beat the crap out of. And the song, that is an inspirational for a car guy. Doesn't it make you just want to drive? Yeah, encore. They all knew it. They're all way smarter than me.
Encore.
Oh, man. Except this person spelled it the way it sounds English. Leroy, it's encore. Encore. It's French. She's encore. I spelled like that. I'm sorry. I'm having fun, guys. Speed Zone with a Lamborghini skipping across the lake ridiculously over the top. Yes, it was. And when I was a kid, that was super cool. But as an adult, I'm like, yeah, it's not that cool.
Somebody wrote Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers. Okay, why else was Cannonball Run good? Are we going to watch that today?
Probably.
What else did you like? Who's your favorite character?
Gosh.
Yes, the girls in the Countach. No. Would you wear a satin one-piece skin tight suit like that if I get a Countach?
I mean, I guess. Who knows?
Okay. All right. What original Death Race was great. Oh man. Okay. Well, what else? Do you like any other car movies?
Probably Smokey and the Bandit. Love Burt Reynolds, really. So.
Which favorite part of Smoke? Why do you like Smokey and the Bandit?
It's again a movie of complete ridiculousness. It's a ton of fun. And then the last one would probably be Rush.
Ooh, why do you like that one?
It feels very real. The acting was very good in it. I really liked the cinematic quality of it. It didn't feel cheesy or hokey. I felt like I was watching a piece of history, even though it was shot in the modern day.
Yeah,
so I really
true.
enjoyed that as well.
Also, Jerk of All Trades, love the name, writes, he loves that they use Brock Yates' actual van in the Cannonball. That scene where it blows off everyone else is doing like 130. That's hilarious. I didn't really realize that. I do know that Ed Bolian, he really wants one of those ambulance vans. Who knows? Maybe we'll get to have some fun in that one day. So the interesting thing about Rush, though, you and I have to be in the right mood for it, and I seldom make it through the whole, or is it you that seldom? How does that go for us?
You usually don't make it through the whole movie.
How far do I get?
Yeah, about 3/4 of the way, I think.
And then what happens?
I don't know. You kind of just...
I kind of get through Rush about 3/4 of the way, and then I start skitzing out and then getting edgy and walking away.
Yeah.
It sort of brings out a lot of things relating to life and cars and racing, which probably means the movie is a smash hit and effective. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, we are going to go here. Anybody else got some awesome question or thing you want to say? What do you got? Throw something else out there.
Shake and bake.
Has no one mentioned Corvette Summer? Yes, Luke Skywalker connects with a hooker in Vegas in a van and builds a crazy Corvette, and he loses his mind and goes across the world. Doesn't care about anything but his Corvette. Yeah, that was an old. That's really what that movie was about. Yeah, okay. And they sing "Oh Sweet Mystery of Life." At last, I found you, like that in Young Frankenstein. Back to the Future 1, 2, 3 with the DeLorean. That's not how you spell DeLorean, man. There's no I. Okay. Keep up the great work you are doing with Genius Garage. Thank you, sir. Well, guys, I really appreciate you all being here. Thank you for everybody that took a front row seat with Super Chat. I will be crediting you in there. I hope to see you all back. Maybe if I have time, I'll get to do another Super Chat. But the lovely wife is here, probably because you're telling me I have other real-world work to do right now, aren't you? Yeah. So I have to go work, guys, this Saturday, but this never ends. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you all being here, and we're going to have fun. Do you got anything you want to say to them?
No, I don't think so.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Maybe the wifey and I will go on a fun car adventure sometime soon. Mm-hmm. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the community, guys. See you next time.